What are the most stressful things in life and how to fix them? As someone who in the past has felt like stress has overtaken me and has controlled my life, my plan in this video is to help show you, number one, how to think about stress, and then two hard-hitting concepts that I want you to stay around for so that you understand how to alleviate some of that stress and help some of the most stressful things in your life. So I promise you by the end of this video, you will understand the most stressful things in your life and how to fix them. With that being said, my name's Chris Richardson. I'm a coach here at Life on Your Terms, and I make these videos to help pass on my knowledge, pass on my experience, to help you work through these things quicker than I ever could. Now, with that being said, the first thing that's the most stressful thing in your life are things that you avoid. And what I mean by this is we have a cool tool in the description called the balance wheel. Now with the balance wheel, there are probably things on that balance wheel that you avoid. You might avoid your job and thinking about getting a new job because you hate your job and you know it's more comfortable to be at this one, but it's causing you a lot of stress. Or maybe you're in a relationship that you hate, that stresses you out, but you don't want to go through the breakup or the divorce or whatever it is, but you know it's time. Or maybe you have health problems where you're 200 pounds overweight or you're chronically depressed and you know that you need to fix that and you know habits that contribute to that, but you're avoiding it. Or maybe you don't use your time well, or you spend your money not responsibly, and that creates a lot of stress in the resources portion. So looking at the balance wheel, take this to the end of the video, can help highlight what things you may be avoiding in your life. And I think that's a big piece of what creates about the 75% of people's stress in their life. People are overweight, they hate their job, they hate their relationship, or they don't like their money, and they avoid those things and they continue to do the habits they do over and over and over, and they never tackle the problem. And that is what I think creates a lot of stress. It's the hard and important things that you know will take action, but you know will create change, and they will be hard to take that action to create that change. Maybe you're a drinker. Maybe you are 200 pounds overweight and you eat too much food and you don't work out. Maybe you hate your job. Whatever it is, I'd imagine that you have these things in your life where you're like, you know what? I don't like this, but I'm not gonna think about it. I'm gonna avoid it. Then 5 years later, you look at, you're like, shit, that is contributing to so much of my stress in my life that I need to create change. It gets to a breaking point. It gets to a point where either you have to change or you will die. Maybe not physically, but maybe mentally. Maybe at your job, you will die mentally. Maybe you will die physically if you're eating or you're drinking, whatever it is. I know this is hard topics, and I commend you for watching this video because these things are hard to change, but I'd imagine a lot of your stress in life is in the things that you avoid. So please have those hard conversations with yourself, looking yourself in the mirror. What are the things that you are avoiding? Now, the second piece after things that you avoid are things that need to be done. And I would say this accounts for about 25% of people's life stress. What I mean by this is it's impending action or pending events that needs to be taken, but you don't want to do it. Prime example for me is the laundry. Those things it's so simple, but I don't want to do it, and it starts to build up, and that creates life stress for me. So maybe there's events in your life where there's impending events that you know you're going to have to do at a future date, but you really don't want to. And I think that these things, the way to overcome them is to just do them. So maybe you know that you have to go to the gym and that's stressful for you. Or maybe you know you have this big project at work, in your business, in school, whatever, you know that needs to be done. I like to use the phrase, just eat the frog. Eat the frog in the morning so you just get it done. It's not enjoyable at all, but I guarantee you'll feel a lot better because I know I feel a lot better after I do my laundry or after I do that thing that I do not want to do. And usually it's cleaning or laundry for me. It's things that I know that I have to do. It's gonna take my time, it's gonna take my energy, and I don't wanna do it. I don't feel productive doing it, but I know after I feel a lot better. So ask yourself in your life, what are some things that you delay doing? And you can see this in your procrastination because that is a stress relief strategy, is that you'll just put it off till later. So what are the things you procrastinate? And those are probably some of the things that are creating maybe 25, 50% of your life stress that you know you need to be done. And the way you do it is you need discipline to work through those things, or you risk it getting worse. And that's about the only answer I have for this one. And the first one with things you avoid is to attack it. With this one, it's just the discipline to get it done. It's things that need to be done and have to happen, but you don't want to do it. The only way to do it is discipline, and the way to find it is to look at things you procrastinate and look at things you hate doing, but I promise you, after you do it, you will feel better. The third and the final piece that I encourage you to think about in the mindset shift that can be helpful is to look at stress as not always a bad thing. Now, before you think like, Chris, come on, stress is bad. Obviously, chronic stress that affects your sleep, affects your bodily functions, stuff like that, that is bad stress. But just that feeling of that antsiness or that stressful feeling, that's not necessarily bad, because stress is usually an indication of what is important. So if you're 200 pounds overweight, or you drink, or you hate your job and you feel stressed every day you walk in your job, or you feel stressed every day you skip the gym, or you feel stressed every time you pick up the bottle, well, there's a good indication of what's important to you and things that you need to change, things that you are avoiding and that need to be different within your life. So it can be a really good indication of what is important. And so if it is important and you look at it and you're like, oh, I'm so stressed about this, it probably means it's important, and you can then use that stress. Now you understand the metric of, okay, if I'm stressed out, it probably means it's important, because then you can use that stress to then say, okay, it's gonna be my motivation, because you can use stress as energy to propel you to do things. I promise you, when my laundry piles up and I don't have anything to wear, well, I'm really stressed out, but I have a lot of energy, and it highlights the importance of doing that laundry. I know that's such a silly example, but that can be applied to even the most serious of things. With drinking and stuff like that, like if it's gotten to a certain point where you really want to make a change, that stress can be used as energy to create other habits that can replace the drinking. Same thing with being overweight. If it gets to a point where you just look in the mirror and you hate yourself, that's enough stress for you to use that, propel you to get in the gym, propel you to start eating healthy, and then you become a rock star. You get in shape and you make the change that you've always wanted to eliminate the most stressful things in your life. So number one, stress is not always bad. Hold that with you. Now, chronic stress is bad, but not all stress is bad. And on top of that, use stress as energy. Use it as a motivator to get you to change the things that you want to change. Now, if you like this video, take that balance wheel in the description below, because again, that can highlight the things you avoid, and that can highlight the things that need to be done, because those are probably the most stressful things in your life. And if you like this video, hit that like and subscribe button so I know to make more of these.